Hello there. So I would be conducting my interview with Paul. So unfortunately, I don't have another partner whom I can conduct the interview with. So I will be doing it by myself. I'll be mentioning when the officer speaks and when Paul speaks. So I would like to begin the interview now. So hi, Paul. This is Constable Officer Garaya. Thank you for meeting me today. I want to ask a few questions. To and feel free to take a break in between the questions if you need it. Your time at the restaurant would be one of the questions that are being asked, and the events leading to the incident of the theft. This is not just a conversation, honestly. We're not assuming anything. We'd like to hear your perspective on things. So, I would like to first get a background check on you and just get to better know your relationship with the restaurant. How long have you been part of the restaurant team for? Paul answers, about 3 years. I started as a line cook and then a server, and then I got promoted to manager about a year ago. What were some of your main responsibilities as a manager? Scheduling shifts of workers, which included lines cook and some of the staff that worked at the front, supervising staff, handling the safe, doing nightly deposits, and then reporting inventory and helping in the kitchen are some of the main roles which I do occupy. Did you have any disciplinary actions or conflicts with the staff or the upper management? I would, Paul responds, no, not really, I would say. Things were mostly smooth, maybe some scheduling disputes, but there's nothing serious, no arguments. We work here and we create a friendly atmosphere for all. And Paul, I would like to guide you through the day of the theft. Can you please walk me through the full day on the date of the theft and then from the morning until night? Sure, Paul responds. I woke up around 9 a.m., stayed home most of the day, prepared lunch and dinner, watched TV, played some video games. Around 5:30, I went out to meet my friend Rick, who also works at the restaurant. Can you remember anything unusual about the day? Unusual that happened at the restaurant the day before? Paul replies, not really. Jim and I closed together like usual. We prepared some inventory stuff, looked over the kitchen. Nothing really seemed off that day. Anything suspicious never seemed to occur. If I asked you to draw a map of your movements that day, home, to the bar, etc., could you please? Paul responds, yeah, I think so. I don't go too far, just stayed in the neighborhood and the restaurant. Officer asks, can you write down whether you had the combination for the lock? Paul writes, yes, I did. I had it memorized. I never wrote it down anywhere, or I never shared it actually. I don't remember the last time sharing the combination with anyone other than the upper staff. Were there ever times when the safe was left open or when others could have seen the code? No, we were really strict about locking it. The safe keeps precious assets of the restaurant, such as cash. Only Jim and I had access to the combination for the safe. Were there any issues within the lock or safe in the past? No, it's updated and any repair is usually given fast forward. Not that I know of. It's always worked fine for me. What were the reasons that forced you to resign shortly after the theft incident? It felt like a toxic environment to work in after the incident. I didn't want to be blamed or get caught up in any of the rumors that were going around. Paul responds, "Had you ever planned, or had you been planning to resign before the incident? Sort of. I think I'd been thinking about leaving for a while, but the theft made the decision easier. I thought that I could further my education to prosper for new opportunities." Were you dealing with any financial difficulties around the time of the theft? Yeah, some debt. Credit cards mostly, I would say. Nothing huge, but enough to stress me out for sure and keep me awake at night. Officer asks, have you ever borrowed money from the coworkers or taken out payday loans? I borrowed $200 from Rick, who also works at the restaurant, though he doesn't manage any of the restaurant affairs or is not part of the management staff. He's a server at the restaurant, but that's about it. Other than the $200 I borrowed, I haven't really affiliated with the restaurant in terms of my personal finances. I get paid on the weekly basis, and that's sufficient enough. Officer asks, "Are you currently, or were you recently using marijuana?" And Paul responds, "Occasionally, I would say so. To relax, let go of things on my mind. Not at work, though. I stick to a schedule at work." Officer asks, "How often do you gamble, if you do so? And were you losing large amounts?" "I used to go to the casino on the weekends, usually, with friends. Lost maybe a few $100 here and there. Nothing crazy that could cost me financial difficulty." Jim mentioned you hanging out with Rick, a former employee. What's your relationship with him like? We're quite close. Grew up in the same neighborhood, went to school together. I know he had some legal issues in the past, but he's been doing better lately. He's been also attending counseling, and he's working hard. Has Rick ever asked you about the restaurant security safe or the security setup or safe? Has Rick ever snuck into the restaurant security system? Paul responds, "No, never directly. I might have talked about work casually, but I don't think I gave any details about the case." Paul, the break and enter wasn't a smash and grab incident. The safe wasn't damaged, and nothing else was taken. That tells us this was done by someone who knows the system well. If someone used information you gave them, even by accident, you need to tell me right now, at this spot, to prevent any further consequences. Did you ever mention the combination or procedures to anyone in a casual setting? I might have when I was drinking, but not like to anyone who worked in the restaurant currently or had access to the restaurant. Okay, thank you for being honest with me, Paul. I know this wasn't easy. Well, verify some of these details with the head office. We'll make sure our investigative branch looks into it, and we'll follow up with Rick as well. I certainly do have some questions for him. If anything else comes to mind, no matter how small, please let me know. Here is my card. You can contact me directly, or feel free to call 911 in any case of emergency, or if you have any information that can help us get to the bottom of this theft. Thank you for listening.